it's me, Nick, the super awesome drawer himself, and today I am back with another super awesome drawing tutorial. And once again, this is another super awesome drawing tutorial gaming edition. And today we are finally going into the world of GTA 5. And we're starting off this world of GTA 5 by drawing the Frogger. And the Frogger is a GTA 5 helicopter, and yes, stop right there. I know a lot of you are going to be saying immediately, well, it's Grand Theft Auto 5. Why are you not drawing a car? Yes, I'm very aware that Grand Theft Auto revolves entirely around cars that you have to steal because it's Grand Theft Auto. Now, I have already drawn a car on this channel, and I think I know people are going to be a little asking me about that and kind of crazy about that. So, and essentially the main reason, aside from the fact that I already drew a car on this channel, is because, well, in my car I mean like sports car in a gaming edition tutorial. Sorry. There are a lot of Grand Theft Auto cars, and there are a lot of Grand Theft Auto helicopters as well. And I would have to cover multiple different videos to get through all the amazing cars that Grand Theft Auto has in store for the players. And these cars all happen to be made up and based off of real-life cars that have fictional twists to them. Now, I would like to be drawing a car, but because I know how many there are, I don't want to overwhelm you with just multiple over and over Grand Theft Auto cars, and because I've been drawing cars in a lot of different types of vehicles on this channel that was when I first started doing drawing tutorials. That's what I was drawing, vehicles and cars and stuff like that. So instead of just giving off another car, which I do so often, I decided that instead of just essentially doing the same thing, I would draw a helicopter, which is another one of my favorite vehicles and something I really enjoy drawing. And because Grand Theft Auto happens to have a lot of those in it as well, I thought I would draw what is likely one of the more iconic helicopters, and that is the GTA 5 Frogger. Now, this helicopter is mostly based off a Eurocopter. It has some slight differences. Its windows are a little bigger, and I don't know, it just has that classic domey helicopter feel, and it's pretty much used by everyone in the game. You can buy one for yourself. The Los Santos Police Department uses the helicopters, and the FIB, yes, that's the version of the FBI in Grand Theft Auto world, also uses these helicopters. Now, getting into drawing the helicopter, well, first you're going to need the pencil, the eraser, and a ruler, and of course your paper right down here. You're going to draw this small little line right here, another about 2 inches right down here. And you have to be careful about where you put this line, because that's just like literally the front of the helicopter, like the dead front. Now you're just going to have to sort of expand on that line a little bit, and then you're going to have to curve it up like that very smoothly, and then you're going to have to come to another full line over here like that. And you don't want to make the line too high. You got to be careful with that. And actually, I'm going to make the line slightly lower like that, just like about here. Like to that, and then it's going to start to go rounding down here, and then it's going to curve up like that. That's where the tail rotor and the tail is going to be. Now, going up around here up front, it's going to do a curve, but you don't want like a dead, like rounded off curve like a lot of people do when they start drawing those dome style helicopters. You're going to want to go out like this, come up around, and just sort of just come in like that, and then go up a little slight crack, like a nudge. come down like this, and then just draw your line across, and then you're going to draw up the tail, or what is going to be the tail. And we'll get back to that section pretty quickly after this. But first, what you're going to want to do is you're going to draw this little line right here, this rhombus, and that's just going to be a little stabilizing fin. Now down here, you're going to want to draw this line out right here, in a line coming from the back right here. Now this line is going to continue downward for a while, but first it's going to come down about there. And then it's going to split out into two triangles for more support. And actually, I'm going to move this up a little bit. Sorry, people who are drawing this at the same rate I am. I have a feeling that I will like to give you an impression that I kind of hope you do the drawing after I do it and then sort of like wind through the video, because I will admit I do make mistakes in these videos. So you're just going to come across like that to that little secondary step. Lay the stuff out into the Illuminati triangles. And I make enough Illuminati jokes. I'm sorry, it's my pet peeve. This should come out like this a little bit. And then this strut is going to come out and continue like that. I'm just going to shade that around like that. Hope you can see it. You see that. And just going to shade it in like that. And just smooth it out a little bit with your pencil eraser. Now we're going to go back and continue with the tail section. And the top of the tail is just going to get immediately just flattened out. It's sort of going to curve back a little bit like that. And it's going to curve around like that. Now right here you're going to draw this circle, and you're going to want to make sure the circle sort of lines more up with this round area in back, because this has a completely covered tail rotor. And then you're going to have to draw out this rectangle leading approximately to the center. Draw that little circle in there and shade that in. And then you're going to do these 6 little lines that, well, like, I guess what should I call them? Like those little pillars that come out, but are just made out of curved lines stacked on top of each other. And then just add some little circles, rough circles in there, just to give the impression that it is spinning. And that does look a little strange from a distance, but it is actually very convincing if you compare it to some real pictures of helicopters. Now, over here, as long as I get my thoughts back together, we can see we need to draw some of the engine detailing for the chopper itself. And to do that, first we're going to have this cylinder right here, and it's not going to go that far up. I'm just going to draw some little back lining. And then we're going to draw this little curve around here. And up at the front, we're going to have to do this little eggy shaped oval. And we're just going to shade that in. And and that's where the intake for the helicopter's engine is, essentially, and that's the exhaust vent, and that's where the helicopter's rotor, which we will be drawing soon, gathers up all its energy, essentially. Now up here, we're going to be drawing this rotor, and to start off you're going to draw a thickish line like that, and then you're going to draw these two little things, because a lot of people do just draw a helicopter blade as just a little line right there, and then they just draw two big T-joints, but you want to show some skill here. So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to draw it up like this, and just draw that small little stub right here, and then I'm going to give it these little cubes or squares or rectangles, and draw that up there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to draw out these bigger versions of these stacked line pillars up at the top. And I'm sort of giving it the impression that the helicopter's rotor is tilting forward, so I'm going to have that rotor coming up slightly farther than this back one. Or like this back one raised up higher than the forward facing one. And you can also draw some more blades coming out here, because I believe this has either 5 or 6 rotors. Cannot tell you for sure. Now basically that we've done a large amount of the engine detail, you can have some arrows pointing back this way. We essentially start designing the cabin. So in most cases, doing the cabin is fairly simple. You're going to have this back part come up here, and then it's going to rise up right here. And actually, no, it's not. You don't want the curve quite that large. It's more going to be like a sudden rise. And then that part's going to come back up again. And right now, this doesn't look like it's going to make any sense. But trust me, it will. You're going to come rise down here. And then it's going to come up slightly more. Am I drawing this right? I think I'm drawing this right. This might be slightly inaccurate. Yeah, you're right. This is actually supposed to be slightly bigger, farther down. And then you're going to have this section right here. Oh, we gotta erase this area. And right there, that's actually the open doorway. And this helicopter actually only has 2 doors on the side, even though I thought these opened. And I'm going to be drawing this doorway open because in most screenshots the game is. But in the meantime, warning, major and horrible ear trauma incoming, because I'm about to sharpen my pencil here. Okay, I hope that wasn't too bad. Okay, sorry, sometimes I gotta do that on screen. But now you have that there, and I'm gonna change this front slightly because it needs to scale up slightly better with that. Like that, right there. And now you're going to draw essentially an exact copy of the door frame, only this is where you're actually going to be drawing the door's patterns on it. And you're going to draw this big window pane right here. And then right up here, there's going to be like this sensor thingy, I think. There's just going to be, that looks horrible. This big little antenna, I think it is. I don't exactly know what it's called, I'll admit. I just shade in up there. You get that full look. Now, you've got your door right there. And now you're going to essentially have to draw this front area. And I think I'm going to just draw this slightly front like this. And then you're going to draw this cross line right through here. Like that. You're going to draw through that little square right there, which is the control panel. You're going to draw a stick, and even though I don't usually do this, I'm just going to draw a little silhouette of a pilot inside. Like that. Just the arms there, and just a mic there, so we can communicate through it. Just like that. And then I'm going to draw the little floor out the side of the chopper. And there's going to be some seats right here. Like that. You can just draw it up like that. And you can just see right through it as the other doors open on the opposite side. Just give that impression. Now, on the back, not only am I going to, I think that's fine, actually. Just going to increase that there. You're going to add these little stabilizing fins. And to start out like that, you're going to do a little slanting shape. And actually, I'm gonna draw that out like that, and something that's you're gonna need to draw in like that, and then it's gonna just come up like that, and then you're gonna draw the wing right there that it's just sort of suspended out by. And just rub that excess eraser junk off. Now, there are so many different styles to paint jobs you can do with this, and I'm not going to go over them all. I'm just going to make the classic sports paint jobs where it's just some little cool streaks over the helicopter's body. But if you want to do the LSPD, you're going to have to just you're just going to have to write police department on it a little bit, and then you're going to have to draw this eagle with red stars and stripes on it and stuff. If you want the FIB logo on it, you just need to draw FIB on it, essentially. But the way I'm doing essentially, I just start with a little just curve lines right through here. And you're going to have to remember to continue the curved lines on some of these. And right about here, there's going to be a little line break up. That's going to just continue over here. And just over through here on the fan. Just like that. So you get the nice elegant design right there. In front, you're going to draw a little camera. And technically this is only necessary on the police helicopters, or only needs to be on the police versions of the helicopters. But technically, because all the Frogger choppers are the same digital texture, just with different color palettes on them, they needed to... Essentially, I think Rockstar Games essentially just didn't want to go to all the trouble of having to put cameras on some of the helicopters and not on others, so they just slapped the same one on all of them. So essentially, there you have it right there. That you should draw some lines showing this is connected. Draw some lights up around here at the top by it. And then to put on the finishing touch, you just sort of have to draw a big oval around here to give it the full effect that it's spinning. Now, that's pretty much it for drawing the helicopter itself, but because it's being the Grand Theft Auto universe, you should always give it some background detail in mind. And being in Los Santos, I'm going to draw some hills around here. Just for sake of details. If I just erase the hilltops a little bit right there, we can have some buildings poking out overhead, and these can just be some random skyscrapers that I'll just be doing classic skyscraper glass design on. If you want, you can draw real Grand Theft Auto universe buildings in here, but I don't know the Grand Theft Auto universe that well, so gotta give me some credit. Now, just draw some little lines for windows on this building right here. But now in the background, one detail that we just gotta have is probably one that makes Grand Theft Auto stand out, and that is to put the Vinewood sign on the hilltops. And I'm just writing the letters block-side. And give it a little bit of dimension, sort of like the real Hollywood sign, where it does sort of curve down a little bit. Wait, am I seriously writing it like that kind of wood? Okay, that's ridiculous. That's a new one on me, I'll admit. Okay, that's how you write Vinewood, kids. That's the educational way of writing Vinewood. This is the normal way of writing Vinewood. And then behind the letters, each start drawing little support systems. Like that. And just give it the little letter, and just give it a little shaping like that. Draw the sun out, just shining like that. That's how I always draw sun. And draw a few clouds. Some that are on the other side of the chopper. And with that, and that is pretty much all there is to this drawing tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed it, found it useful. If you are new to the channel, subscribe. Don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.